Okay, should work. Hi guys, Jonathan here as usual, and yeah, I'm in Costa da Caparica, I'm in Portugal. I came back from my Italian holidays on Monday, last Monday. I arrived at the Lisbon airport at like midnight, and the day after I had to go to my job in the office. So it's been a full week of office, but it was, I mean, kind of good because in general I'm here alone because Claudia was staying 1 week more in Italy because she had to work while in Italy, so she compensated by staying 1 week more. And actually I'm going tonight to the airport to take her home, basically to greet Claudia, to welcome Claudia in Portugal. And yeah, but still I have a free afternoon, let's call it like this. I managed to clean a bit the house today, and also this kind of stuff that I'm sure you're super interested in. But there's a big but, a big but, okay. There's a big but, because yeah, basically every time I come back from Italy, I have some kind of mixed feelings, because for those of you who don't know, and if you didn't recognize the accent, I'm Italian, and but I'm pretty sure that you recognize the accent, so yeah. I'm Italian, and so for me, staying in Portugal, considering that I've been living in Portugal for the last 3 years, every time I go back to Italy, it's to me going back home. Basically, I'm not visiting like other places in Italy. I managed to visit some cities, and you will see the pictures, because as I will go on talking about this experience, I will show some of my favorite pictures that I took in Italy, in some cities that I visited. Okay, but talk about it later. And yeah, so for me, basically, going back to Italy means going back to my my hometown and staying with my family, with my mother and my brother especially. And yeah, it's every time I come back to Portugal, because I try to go to Italy at least a couple of times per year. So every time I come back to Portugal, I have a lot of mixed feelings, you know. I take a lot of things into consideration. I think a lot whenever I'm in Italy, and I was used to that when I was living in Italy, because I was, I mean, I was feeling a bit hopeless. I was feeling like a bit lost, and not that I'm not feeling like this now. Sometimes it happens. Actually, it happens often, but still, I'm trying to recover. No, but jokes apart, every time is a bit strange, and I'm sure that for those of you who live abroad, who live far from their families, I think that you can understand this kind of feeling. And if you can't, guys, I mean, we're all different, so yeah, that's it. So yeah, for me, I don't know, it was cool. It was a cool experience in general. It's always cool to be on holidays, and in my opinion, it's always cool to not have to worry about the job or cleaning your house or this kind of stuff. Yeah, we can say it like this. But I don't know, at the same time I was thinking that in my hometown, in my place, I come from basically in the northeast part of Italy, the Veneto region, near Venice, more or less. Yeah, I come from that part of Italy that is not like that interesting. I mean, there's not a lot of things to do. It's my place, my hometown is like a bit more than a village. It's like a little town, and you know, these kind of situations in which you live abroad in a big city, in a capital city, for example. Not in this moment because I'm living in Caparica, but still I'm very close to Lisbon, that is the capital of Portugal. But you were born in I don't know, a bit outside bigger cities, so you are used to this kind of mentality, to a mentality that is based that is formed in the province, more or less. So a simpler mentality and all this kind of stuff. So each time I go back to these places, it's a bit strange for me. I don't know why, but it makes sense actually. I know why, but it's still a bit strange. So considering this, taking all this into consideration, what I was thinking during these holidays is that I was wondering, why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling good? Why am I feeling also great, curious for the next day, what can happen during the day? Yeah, curious in general. Why am I liking staying here? apart from the fact that I'm with my family, and yeah, that counts as well. But still, why do I like taking my car, going around with my car? Because I still have my old car that now my brother is using. And why am I liking all of this if it's something that I escaped basically some years ago, 3 years ago? And I was thinking about this, and probably the answer to all of this is that going back to Italy, I have the opportunity once in a while, a couple of times per year usually, as I said, to, I don't know, not take advantage, to reappropriate myself of the time that I have. I have the chance to actually use the time that I have and do things that are important for me. In general, I felt like during these 10 days, I felt like I was waking up each day, and I was actually deciding what I wanted to do, and I was living life, I don't want to say at the fullest, because I mean, I was still there, and there is basically nothing to do in this area. Let's be clear about that. I mean, staying in Portugal is much different because there's a lot to do here. There's much more stuff that you can choose from, also not only in the weekend, also during the week. For me, more in the weekend, because during the weekend, no, during the week I work usually, so it's more for the weekend. But still, there's plenty of options. It's always the same story, guys. I don't want to be like this person who tries to teach something to other people, because my story is the same story of everyone else, moving from one country, staying in the province, in little towns, and going to another country in a bigger city. It's basically this. But I think that I wanted to convey through this video, and I wanted to talk about, and it's also an excuse to show the pictures, because I mean, I didn't want to do like a simple slideshow. I wanted to add something from my own. Is that I don't know, it's cool to have sometimes some time to, I don't know, to take advantage of your life, of the fact that you are alive, that you can choose what to do. And unfortunately, this this is a situation that I think that involves basically 99% of people, because all of us have to work. And unfortunately, a lot of times the jobs that we have are not related to what our passions are, what our capabilities are, or this kind of stuff. And a lot of times we just work to get some money and then pay for the groceries and basically survive. So yeah, this is a bit sad actually. And in the last months I've been thinking a lot about this, about the fact that I have this huge passion for photography, for videography. I'm trying to make this channel grow. I'm trying to get out in a certain way from my own situation, from the situation that sometimes makes me feel like I'm doomed to a life that is not that interesting. Let's call it like that. I know that these things are not nice to say, and I mean, if you're an emotional person, these kind of thoughts can trigger something. But in my opinion, I don't know, it's important to talk also about this, because every time I'm on YouTube, I always see people like content creators that I follow, and general normal people in general, you know, and everyone is just talking about a fraction, yeah, a small fraction of what is the life of an artist, or a wannabe artist, or someone who wants to create contents for, I mean, as a job. And it's important to dig deep, kinda. Not that I mean, I didn't do it a lot in this video, but still, it's important to talk also about the other side of the coin, if you understood the metaphor. I think that it's pretty easy, so yeah. And for me, I was saying that the other side of this imaginary coin is that yeah, it's cool to be an artist, to feel like an artist, to make art. But at the same time, the fact that you're living in a condition that doesn't allow you to do it full time, or pursue your passion in general, a condition that doesn't allow you to use your time in order to work on projects, to develop new skills, so all this kind of stuff. It's a bit sad, and for me it's a bit sad. And I noticed, I knew it before also, but I noticed it even more while in Italy, because for the things that I said before, I wasn't expecting to have this kind of fun, let's call it like this. And every day I was waking up also early because I was curious about what they had for me. Basically, I wanted to go around to see places, to do things, and sometimes here in Portugal is this is a bit hard for me, because not because I don't have options, because I have a lot of options, as I said before, but still I'm a bit consumed by the time that I spend during the week working, and especially now that I'm working in a hybrid mode, commuting to work and then staying at home and then commuting again, and then like this. So yeah, and I'm not I don't want to talk shit about my job, not because I don't want, because I mean I don't care actually, but still it's not like a difficult job. I don't feel this kind of pressure. I have super nice colleagues and all this kind of stuff, but in general, in my opinion, even if you have like a good job, even if you don't have a lot of pressure on you and all this kind of stuff, waking up every day because someone said virtually that you have to put your alarm at 1 hour, and waking up every day to do something that you're not interested in, and having, I don't know, low to zero spare time that you have to use in order to keep your house clean, to do the groceries, to cook, to clean, all this kind of stuff, you know. Always stuff related to the house, and also to, I mean, see your friends, because we are not islands, we are people, and we need to be with other people also, so to socialize and all this kind of stuff. All of these things drive you a lot, drive you very, very far in some ways from your passion and from what you want to do sometimes. And I mean, it's a bit sad, because we should live an interesting life, in my opinion. I'm a curious person, so I would like to feel like this every day, you know, to feel like every day is a surprise to me. And unfortunately it isn't, because basically I already know what's going on, what will happen on the day after. Sometimes it's different. There are some interesting days for the good and for the bad, but still interesting. And I mean, it's cool when these things happen, but it's not the usual, let's call it like that. So yeah, I don't want to keep you in this video, to keep you watching this video for longer. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed the photos that I showed and the places that I visited. The cities, by the way, were Vicenza, Treviso, Rovigo and Padova. And yeah, this is what I wanted to say, actually, what I wanted to share with you guys. And yeah, I hope that you found this video interesting. Let me know in the comments if there is something that you want to add to the discussion, to the conversation. You know, guys, just the very last thing before closing this video, I almost never script my videos, and probably you can notice this. Sometimes I take some bullet points of what I want to say, but it's not something that I do every time. For example, this time I didn't do it, and there's a risk in doing this, because there's a risk of losing yourself into the discussion, and yeah, losing the road that you're following in order to get from the point A to point B. But still, I like it this way, because this very small community that is very, very small, because we are like 500 people, something more. I feel like it's cool to have this kind of approach, as if we were at a bar, for example, with some beers, talking about life. And yeah, I want my art and myself to be, yeah, transparent like this. I want my art also, and I want to behave as an honest person, a sincere person, and yeah, especially an authentic person. Yeah, let's call it like that. And yeah, I hope that this is something that you're noticing. I hope that this is something that you agree with. because yeah, we are people, and what's amazing about people, in my opinion, is the fact that each one is different, and we all have our own perspective on things. And yeah, so this was my perspective on the last days, on the holidays and all this kind of stuff. Just before closing the video, in the next one, the next video will be a bit different from my usual. I know that I always say this, but this time it's true, because it will be a video about videography, and it will involve one relative of mine that has never been present on this channel. And yeah, it will be cool, guys, just to spoil a bit. And that one will be the last video that I shot in Italy. And then I will get back to the usual stuff that I do here in Portugal. And yeah, that was all, finally. So thank you again for watching this video, and see you in the next one, and here on this channel. Bye, guys.